This is the video 3, and we'll talk about assumption checking in repeated measure ANOVA. To make sure the repeated measure ANOVA is appropriate method to use, we want to check if all the repeated measure ANOVA assumptions are reasonably met. First, the data should be repeatedly measured, thus dependent samples, of course. The other assumptions are very similar to the ones for one-way ANOVA. We need to check if there is an outlier, extreme outlier, and decide what to do with it. The dependent variable should be approximately normal. The variance in each group should be approximately same, which is called a sphericity assumption. For more detailed information, you can read the following website. For next couple slides, we'll talk about how to check if these assumptions are met for the heart rate data. Outliers can be found by using identify underlying outliers function in tidyverse package. For the heart rate example, we are asking to find outliers for different courses using group underline by function right here. As we can see the result in the next gray box, it says that 0 rows are detected in the results, which means there is no outlier. Assume there is an outlier. We can include the outlier in the analysis if we believe the results will not be substantially affected. Or we can use a ANOVA test using the WRS2 package to keep the outliers in the data and perform robust ANOVA test. In other words, if we see outliers substantially affect the results and these outliers are not typo and somewhat important data point, we can run ANOVA test using WRS2 package. To check a normality assumption, we ran ggqqplot plot using the ggpopr package. Notice that we asked to generate multiple normal QQ plot for different courses using faucet.by option in ggqqplot function. If you look at this graph, there are 3 courses and ggqqplot function generated a normal QQ plot for each course, course 1, course 2, and course 3. These normal QQ plot shows all the points fall approximately along the reference lines. We can assume the normality assumption is reasonably met. Sphericity assumption is that the variances among all groups are approximately equal. A repeated measure ANOVA is particularly susceptible to this violation. Fortunately, the assumption of sphericity will be automatically checked during the computation of the ANOVA test using get underline ANOVA underline table function that automatically apply greenhouse gas correction. ANOVA underline test function also assess this assumption, although doesn't automatically correct it. In the heart rate example, get underline ANOVA underline table function automatically applies greenhouse gas correction, just we said in the previous slide, and present the following ANOVA table right here. Notice that in this particular example, there is not a serious sphericity assumption violation. Thus, the results are similar to results using ANOVA underline table function. You can actually see the similar results right here. Remember that depending on what we were using either ANOVA underline test function or get underline ANOVA underline table function. There's a little bit of discrepancy, but the results wasn't that much different. That's because all the assumptions, in particular sphericity, uh, assumptions are not really violated seriously in this particular example. Okay. So, in conclusion, we can rely on these results since all the repeated measure assumptions are reasonably met for the heart rate example.